Where's the clicker here? So, even though today's topic is on weight loss, it's really about getting healthy when it comes to weight loss. And that should be the ultimate goal. Not necessarily about a certain number on a scale, but really about being healthy and being able to do the things that you want to do without limitations, without aches and pains or fatigue or irritability and things like that. So, I really hope to install some healthy habits of living in today's seminar. The good news is, you will lose weight. If you take some of these principles and you start doing them in your life, you will lose weight. You'll have more energy, you'll start sleeping better, and be able to have better quality time with your family, work better, be more efficient, more effective, those things. So I'm going to kind of jump through a few slides here because it's not really applicable right now. So first of all, 72% of Americans are overweight. Okay, 40% of kids are overweight. Okay, 1 in 3. If you have a kid born after the year 2000, they have the one. Doing by the way. Sorry, I just recognized you. This is my cousin, my wife's cousin, right? Right? Yeah. So don't see him a lot. So I just know he runs a lot of marathons. So
used to run a lot.
So 40, so 1 in 3 kids will end up having diabetes, type 2 diabetes. Okay, and we're going to come to cover some of the reasons why. Why is that? Okay, so needless to say, it's a huge problem. Okay, once again, I hope to leave with you today some solutions that you can start taking immediately and start applying them in your life, and start creating the health and the life that you want. Okay, so we're going to be talking specifically about how to get your body into fat-burning mode. Okay, how to get your hormones, your fat-burning hormones working for you. Okay, that's ultimately what we're trying to do. Just kind of quickly run through a few of these slides. But this basically shows you what's happening in America, the obesity trend here. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but you see year after year after year, obviously it's just getting worse and worse and worse. Okay? Worse and worse and worse. Year 2009, here we are, 2010. So basically over a period of 25 years, you can see the significant increase in obesity in America. Okay? We spend the most money in healthcare. Yeah, we're the sickest people in the world. Okay, so the question I have, well, let me just cover this. By the year 2020, which isn't that far away, okay? It's 2016 right now. I've been married 15 years, so 15 years from now, 2030, it is estimated, based on the trends that are happening, that 90% of Americans will be obese. Just think about 90%. My kids, that's my kids. You got an 8-year-old, 6-year-old, 4-year-old, 2-year-old. I mean, they're going to be. They're not, but hoping. 90% of Americans. Okay, so the question is how do we get healthy in a sick world? We live in a very, very sick world. Okay, how do we get healthy in a sick world? Okay, because this is what's happening, right? Take Sally for instance. We live in a very, very stressful world. Very busy. We're always on the go. Constantly going, always got to be doing things. So we live in a very stressful world, very fast-paced world. We're eating fast food, pre-packaged food, canned food, dehydrated food, all this, all types of food, because of the save time, right? We don't have enough time for our health, really, is what that means. So we're just going, because of the things we're eating, because of the stressful life that we live. Basically, our body's starving. Okay, it's not getting the nutrients that our body needs. So it constantly, needs nutrition, and because it's not getting the nutrition that it needs, it basically holds on to that fat, and that's why it's a lot harder for people to lose weight because the body's in that fat burning or fat holding. The other thing is we live in a very toxic world, okay? You're going to start hearing the news, right? Don't exercise outside. Don't go running your 16 miles tomorrow. because the air quality is not good. Okay? The air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat. Anybody eat white bread, white flour? Okay? You know what they use to bleach that, to make it white? That's toxic food that's not even allowed in other countries because it's so toxic. But yet here in America,
It's good.
So anyway, so the food we eat, like I said, our body is exposed to a lot of toxins. Okay. Now our body is designed to detoxify itself, but because of the lifestyle that we live, the stress that we experience, because of the food we eat, that system basically gets clogged up. So toxins start accumulating in our body, and basically fat cells hold on to toxins. So our body's not going to be able to lose weight until it can detoxify itself. Okay, or you may lose weight, but the chances of maintaining that weight loss or actually getting healthy are very slim when our body's toxic. Okay, so the toxicity, lifestyle changes. Lifestyle, okay, the things that we're doing in our lifestyle, this is where all the research is going, is that it's actually changing our genetics. Okay, that's one of the reasons why 1 in 3 kids will have diabetes, is because of the lifestyle that they're living is actually changing their genetics and that's the gene developing. Okay, so a lot of times we like to use genetics as an excuse for our problems. And there's some truth to that. I'm not trying to deny any of that. But at the same time, 70% of our issues are not genetic related. It's due to lifestyle. Okay? And then because of our lifestyle, that's manifesting those genetic genes. Okay? The good news is by changing our lifestyle, we can change our genetics. That's where all the research is going. It's all very good. But I mean, there's one of, I just read a recent one. If you're a smoker, this applies to smokers, but for every 15 cigarettes that you choose, it genetically modifies and changes your genes, your genetic genes. For every 15 cigarettes that you smoke. So I mean, there's just more and more coming out on how our lifestyle and things that we do in our life are affecting our genes. So watch forward to that. Okay. So let's dive into. Get some of my notes here, make sure I'm not skipping anything. Let's go ahead and just dive into 10 reasons. So once again, I'm going to share with you 10 things that you can start doing immediately. I know you guys are doing a contest, right? A little bigger losers, healthy contest type thing, okay? So hopefully you can just take some of these things and start doing them. I mean, that's really ultimately what it comes down to. Okay.
Can we get a copy of this so that if they want it, I can just email it out instead of them having to take notes? Is that okay?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, awesome.
Okay. Maybe lose my train of thought.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, so when it comes to anything, it really comes down to a decision, okay? And I invite my patients, and this is what I try to help my patients do, is you got to take time. Take time right now and assess your health and your wellness. I mean, this is a perfect year to do it. It's really at the top of our minds, and we slowly lose that over time. But hopefully I can install a few things that will keep that desire and that motivation going, okay? But right now, you got to decide. Only you can determine your health. Okay, like I said, we have excuses. We have the genetics. You know, we have insurance. We use insurance for a reason why we can't get healthy. So, oh, my insurance won't pay for it, or my insurance doesn't do this, or whatever. We use that so we don't get healthy. You know, time's and obviously, you know, because we live in a very, very time. But everybody has the same amount of hours. 24/7. So it just needs to become a priority. I'd always like to ask this, you know, go over this with patients. What's the most important things in your life? Just throw out some ideas. What are some of the most important things in your life? What are they? Family, right? It's always the first one I use here. Family. Okay. What else is important?
My health.
Health. Perfect. Health is always there. Okay. What else?
Career.
Job, money, okay. Purpose, okay. Good. What else? I'm looking for one more. I mean, time. Time is another thing that's important, right? So those are the most common things that people. That's what's important to people. Their time is important to them. Their family is important to them. Their job is important to them, and be able to support themselves, and their health. So if we were to take those, what should be the number one priority of our life? And I learned this from a patient. We had a patient that he lost over 100 pounds, and I was having him share his testimony with another patient. And these were his words, they weren't mine, but his key to his success is one, he simply made the decision. He said, I'm committing to my health. It's the number one priority in my life right now is my health. And once he made that commitment, and he did the things that he needed to do for his health, a year later, after losing 100 pounds, one, he's making more money. Okay, he's got a better job. He's making more money. He's serving better in his church. Okay, his time with his kids are 10 times better. He has better quality time with his kids. He's not always tired, fatigued, irritable, yelling at his kids. He's actually enjoying his kids, and he has more time to do the things that he wants to do. So I learned it from that patient. That's really what it is. His health needs to be there. Because if you don't have good health, your family life isn't going to be great. There's going to be stress. There's going to be contention. There's going to be irritation. It's going to be difficult to perform well in jobs, in your job and work, to progress, and those things. And obviously, that poor quality of health is going to take up your time. Time not doing the things that you want to do. So the invitation is really take time to assess your health. Assess where you are. What's your level of commitment? On a scale of 0 to 10, where are you? What are you willing to do to get your health in order? Okay. And once we start making that commitment, that process begins. Let that desire grow. Okay. And you start taking these 10 principles and you start applying them in your life, that desire will continue to grow. You'll start seeing the results. You'll start feeling better. You'll start sleeping better. Start seeing it, and then that just keeps that ball rolling. Okay, so that's what I hope here. Okay, so let's dive into it. So the first thing that you can do, let me back up. So the one reason why people can't get their body in the fat burning mode is they're skipping meals. Okay, they're reducing their calories. They're letting themselves go hungry. Okay, so the first thing that you can do to get your body in the fat burning mode is actually eat. Okay? Because every time you skip a meal or reduce your calories to a point that's not functional, there's a balance there, it reduces your metabolism. So your metabolism starts slowing down. Your body actually goes into storage mode, okay? Because it's going to hold on to that fat until it absolutely needs to use it. Okay? And so it's that safety mechanism that's there in our body. Okay? So it reduces our metabolism, it reduces our energy levels. Okay, if you're not consuming the amount of calories your body needs to function, you're just not going to have energy. Okay, so a lot of times people don't have energy is because they're not eating enough. Okay, so the solution here is you got to eat. Okay, we help our patients eat. Okay, it's not necessarily about the quantity of food or anything like that, or the number of calories. Okay, a lot of the trends out there is always watch your calories. Okay, there is a rule there, there's balance there. But I'd rather have my patients eat healthier food and not count the calories. You'll lose weight. I have this conversation with my mom all the time. But about fat is I think I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but it's the type of fat that you're eating. Okay, our body needs fat to function. Our body needs fat to produce hormones. Our body needs fat to protect our cells. We need fat for energy, okay? To heal, to repair. Okay, it's very vital, but it's the type of fat that we're consuming that affects. So the first thing you can start doing is, one, eat every 2 to 3 hours. Okay, this does a couple things. So eat smaller portions of food every 2 to 3 hours. Okay, so first and foremost, start with a nice healthy breakfast. Okay, the standard American breakfast does not cut it. Coffee, donuts, orange juice, piece of bread, box of cereals. I grew up on cereal. Okay, that fortified stuff, right? It just doesn't do it. It's not good. So find some healthy alternatives. So with breakfast, Once again, I got this list of the foods that you can eat. But start thinking of breakfast. I mean, one of my favorites is obviously I make a lot of smoothies. I love green smoothies, protein shakes type meals. So, making a lot of the green smoothies. Eating the eggs, the bacon, the ham. That's okay. That's good. I'd rather have people eat that versus the cereal. Okay, versus the piece of bread. Okay. Oatmeal, good hearty oatmeal is good. So look for those. I mean, those are the three things that I make eat for breakfast. I make smoothies, I make oatmeal, and I have eggs. Okay. So working that into your diet. Okay, and then 2 or 3 years later, healthy snack. Okay, I got a list of a whole bunch of healthy snacks. It takes a little bit of planning and anticipating, but it doesn't need a lot. It needs just be enough to give your body about 100 calories is sufficient if you're looking for a number, but about 100 calories every 2 to 3 hours will help keep your blood sugar level, keep your hunger under control, and continue to actually increase your metabolism. Okay, so finding a healthy snack, a handful of almonds, some form of nut, seeds, anything like that. Vegetables should be right there on the list as far as what to consume. Celery. What I do is I get a little bag. I'll get a little bag, a little Ziploc bag. Take 5 minutes, maybe in the morning, or sometimes a lot of times I do it in the evening. But I'll take a celery. I'll take a carrot. I'll take an apple. I've used radishes a little bit before. A cucumber, and I'll just chop them up, bite size, right here. And just put them in the bag, and then I just have them on my desk, and I just snack on those things. So that's a good way to get snacks. And then lunch and dinners. Doing those things I like to focus on in the beginning with patients is focus on lean and greens. And I'm jumping ahead here, but so the message here, and I'll come back to that, but the message here is you don't want to skip calories, or you don't want to reduce calories to the point where your body is not gaining, you're not increasing your metabolism and burning fat. So don't let yourself go hungry. Eat. Your body needs to eat. Okay? Refined sugar and refined grains. Okay, this is probably, if you could get one thing, this is what it'd be. Okay? The more and more I study this and learn about it and implement it in my own life and watch my patients do the same, I'm just blown amazed at what sugar does to our body. Okay, it is not good. Okay, there's been studies out there that show that sugar is just as addicting as coke or cocaine, right? So it affects the same part of the brain, triggers the same addictive behaviors, but sugar. So sugar, and this is what I'm learning, okay? Because it's not as simple as, don't eat sugar, okay? It's not that easy, right, guys? It's not that easy. And so, what I'm learning is we need to understand why. When we understand the why, then it slowly becomes over time a little easier. It's like, when you understand what it's doing to your body, you're like, you know what, I don't want that anymore. It becomes that simple. You're put in a position where, you got donuts on the counter, and you're like, I just don't want them because I know what it's going to do to my body. So the more we know what it's going to do to our body, and the more that it's going to affect our body, the easier it will be to make that decision. I'll cover other things too to get rid of those cravings. So, sugar. Here's what sugar does to our body. Okay. First and foremost, sugar. So when we consume sugar, it triggers a release of a hormone called insulin. Everybody heard of insulin? Probably, right? Okay. Insulin is a fat-building hormone. Okay. It's designed to take sugar out of the bloodstream and put it into the cell. Okay. And because we consume, I just read something the other night, and I think it's 195 pounds of sugar a year. So, assignment that I would encourage, just to educate, is take a moment and just research sugar and see how much sugar is in food. You can see how much sugar is in soda pop, how much sugar is in a can of tomato soup, how much sugar is in all these things. Okay, and it just opens your eyes to how much, things that you didn't think had sugar have sugar. Okay, so anyway, so because we consume so much sugar in our diets, and because of the lifestyle that we live, our body can't burn that much sugar that much. Okay, so that sugar that insulin takes out of the blood and puts into cells is stored in the cells and then is converted into fat. That's what happens to the sugar. Okay, when we consume too much sugar. Okay, so it releases that hormone, insulin, which is that fat building hormone. The other thing is that insulin or sugar, when it lingers in the blood, it damages our vital cells, our tissue, and organs. I mean, just think of a diabetic patient. Why did they get their leg cut off? Why did they get their hand cut off or their big toe cut off? Why are they going blind? It's because of the sugar that's lingering in their bloodstream, because there's so much in their bloodstream. It's lingering there and getting into their tissue and damaging those organs and causing it. Okay. Sugar feeds cancer cells. Okay. Sugar weakens your immune system. So a lot of times people get the colds and different things during the wintertime. And it seems because of the change in temperature. Well, most of the time it's a very stressful time because we got holidays, we got Thanksgiving, we got Christmas, we got New Year's, a really stressful life period of time. We tend to be eating more sweets and sugar at that period of time. And so it just weakens our immune system and we get exposed and our body's not able to fight it off. And so therefore we get sick. Okay? So it weakens our immune system. Couple other things. Blood sugar. So sugar increases our blood pressure, increases our triglycerides, increases our bad cholesterol, reduces our good cholesterol. And once again, it's all converted to fat if we're not using it. And your body will always use sugar before fat. So if your goal is to lose fat, you can't consume sugar because your body's going to use the sugar before it uses the fat. So you got to minimize it. I'm not saying to completely avoid it, but we definitely got to minimize the type of sugar too. It plays a huge role. All the refined sugar, refined grains, because that is quickly converted into fat. Okay. So the other thing, has anybody heard of type 3 diabetes? There's type 1, type 2, now there's a type 3 diabetes, basically Alzheimer's. Okay? So it's brain degeneration, sugar. Type 3 diabetes is brain degeneration. That's what's happening. Okay? Now they even have a diabetes type 1.5. Okay? So we're learning all sorts of things. Okay? So it's just not good. And it's in so much of our food because back in it's still there, but what was the fad, I don't know, 20, 30 years ago when America started seeing everybody getting overweight? What was the cause? What did they think the cause was back then? When they started taking it out of our food. Fat, right? So it was low. So everything became low fat. Low fat this, low fat that, low fat this. So they took out all the fat and started labeling all the food low fat, right? What did they do instead? Add sugar. It's just full of sugar. So now we're consuming so much sugar. Once again, that sugar is having a very toxic effect in our body. It causes inflammation in our body. And because we're consuming so much of it, it's causing a lot of health problems. Okay? So if you have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, it's not because of cholesterol. Okay. Pretty good chance it's because of the sugar that you consume and the inflammation that is being caused by that sugar. Okay. So a lot of the heart diseases out there are not due to the fats and the cholesterol that we think, that we're taught that our own MDs are teaching us. Okay, so they can prescribe. I don't want to say it that way, but so they can prescribe us cholesterol medication. The big pharmaceutical companies. Okay, the #1 selling drug in America is cholesterol statin. Okay, and they make billions of dollars of this, and it's not. Won't go into it, but it's not even close to treating the underlying cause. It's simply treating the symptom. The underlying cause is the inflammation in the body. And one of the reasons why our body is so inflamed is because of the amount of sugar that we are consuming. Okay? Reason number 3, kind of, we've already talked about the excess sugar, but we tend to mix it with a lot of protein. Okay? A lot of protein, a lot of saturated fats. Okay, so, this is the meat potato type of meals. Okay? Once again, when we're consuming that much sugar in conjunction with a lot of protein, protein itself is converted to fat as well if it's not used properly. Okay? So protein's good. Our body needs protein. Our body needs sugar. Our body needs carbohydrates.
Question.
Yeah.
What do you think about other types of sugars?
Like artificial sugars, aspartame. Yeah, I was going to get to that a little later. But
Okay, I don't even want to go there because I love Diet Coke. That's not what I'm doing. How about the other kind of sugar, as in like the stevia and that kind of stuff?
it's a better alternative. It's a better alternative, absolutely. Okay. There's a few things with artificial sugars that they're finding. Aspartame is where most of it is there, and I'll kind of cover that a little bit later there. But yeah, stevia is a great alternative to use for baking. So yeah. But they're finding out that these artificial sugars that apparently have they have no calories and all this stuff, it actually cause an insulin spike too. So it still causes your body to release the hormone insulin. Is what they're finding. So once again, like I said, we need it. Okay, it's going to be a part of our life. We need carbohydrates, sugar, but the amount that we're consuming and in the form that we're consuming it is what's doing the damage. So some healthy alternatives is stevia, but they're better is getting more of the fruits and vegetables versus, and I won't even say whole grains, because what's going on with our grain in America is unbelievable. So it's just not good. But anyways, it's another story. But okay, so excess protein, excess sugar, all those things affect that. So basic meal is to get started where the focus of most of this should be is a lean and green meal. Okay, and I'll kind of talk about this too with overeating. But take an average. So first of all, when you look at a dinner plate or a meal, 50% of that plate should be vegetables. So one of the things that really helped me in creating a healthier lifestyle for myself was the first thing I think about is vegetables. Vegetables, 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 vegetables. Okay. What vegetables can I cook? What vegetables can we have? That's where the first thing you think about. Okay. So 50% of your plate should be full of vegetables. Okay. 25% of your plate should be lean, healthy protein, meat. Once again, there's a list of great things, but lean turkey, chicken, the meat that's going on, that's a whole other story as well. But focusing on those, the healthier alternative red, meats like buffalo, wild animal, that's always better. If you can get red meat from cattle that is fed properly, that's okay as well. But look at it, and then the other 25% of your plate should be healthy starch. Brown rice, wild rice, the different forms of rices, except for white rice. The ones we want to do white rice, but sweet potatoes, yams. Those are some great alternatives to get that more of that starchy flavor. Okay.
Orlando and I always knew brown was better. And pure, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so overeating. Okay, I attended a weight loss seminar and actually had a lot of people from Europe over, and we were talking about it. Their comment basically was they were blown out of their minds about the portion sizes of our meals. Okay, so overeating has several effects on our body. It stresses our body out. Okay, and so therefore we actually eat more. It triggers a response to eat more. Okay, so when we overeat, we stress our body, which then causes us to actually eat more. Okay. Has anybody heard of leptin? A hormone called leptin? Okay. Leptin is basically the hormone in our body to tell our brain, hey, stop eating, you're full. Okay. But because we're in the habit of eating so much, you've heard of insulin resistance, right? Now there's leptin resistance. So basically that communication is not happening, so our brain's not getting that signal to say, hey, stop eating. And so we just continue to consume and eat. Okay. So that's what happened. And because of that reaction, it sounds weird, but basically your body goes into starvation mode again, meaning it holds on to fat because of that whole mechanism that's occurring with overeating, because of the stress that it creates in the body, because of the resistance that's there. Once again, it puts our body in fat mode. So, evaluating our portion size, like I said, use a 9-inch plate and evaluate that, utilize that. The other thing is eating every 2 to 3 hours. Okay, that will help control eating portions. Okay, but it just takes saying enough is enough sometimes. Okay. Alcohol, consuming alcohol. I won't spend a lot of time on this, but basically the alcohol triggers insulin and puts our body in fat burning mode. Not a huge problem for a lot of us, but this is consuming coffee and caffeinated drinks. Okay, we consume a lot of that. Okay, so if you can do one thing, I had a patient that just simply eliminated the soda pop, and she lost 14 pounds in the month. Okay, so just by eliminating soda pop from your diet, could cause you to lose significant amount of weight there. So once again, if we understand what this does to our body, hopefully it helps us to make a healthier decision. Okay, so why are they so bad? Okay, one of the first reasons is that they're finding out is caffeine itself. Okay, so which is obviously in a lot of soda pops, coffee. 70% of your good bacteria is killed because of caffeine. So if you're consuming large quantities of caffeine, it is killing a large portion of the good bacteria in your gut. Okay? So why is that important? Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to cover more of the gut health in a minute, but just keep that in mind. Okay. The carbonation, it basically sucks calcium and essential minerals in our body out of our body. Okay. The sugar, obviously, it contains large amounts of sugar. And once again, this is something you can Google and see how much sugar is in the Coke or how much sugar is in this.
What about a Monster drink?
I drink it for the B vitamins.
Oh, okay.
Let me tell you my story on that.
Oh,
But I don't consume a lot of that stuff, and I do a bike race every year called the Rockwell Relay. It's from Moab to St. George, and so my night run is like night ride is about 3 o'clock in the morning. And one of my teammates was drinking one of those. I said, "Oh, he drink half of that. Let me drink the rest of it." So I drank the rest of that, and holy cow! Every 5 miles, I had to stop and pee. So I stopped 4 times on that leg to go pee. I mean, that thing just depleted me. I mean, that's one of the things that it does, is that it dehydrates you. Well, that caffeine basically dehydrates
But the
you.
B vitamins are really good.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah.
Totally makes sense.
So it kills your gut, it depletes your bodies of proper minerals that your body needs to function. It's actually caffeine associated with that as well. It is an appetite stimulator. Okay, so it causes cravings and causes you to want sweets and causes you to eat more. Okay, and I know there's one more that slips my mind right now. There's the aspartame. Okay, so diet. They actually did a study. The study's been done. People drinking diet soda gain more weight than people who don't. Okay,
So it's better to drink the regular soda than it is
well, I don't
diet,
know.
right?
No one
But if
way.
you had to decide,
There is no way.
if you had to choose.
Me personally, yes, I choose the real stuff. Okay, so aspartame is a very toxic, poisonous substance. Okay, Michael J. Fox, anybody know Michael J. Fox?
Yeah.
Okay, aspartame. They concluded he has Parkinson's disease because of aspartame. It's a neurotoxin because we're consuming so much of that stuff. You know, it's in our diet drinks, it's in Crystal Light, it's in a lot of different things, and so it's a very toxic.
Did he consume way more than one person does?
Yeah,
or-
I mean, he was a sponsor for Pepsi, and so, and he obviously got addicted to the drink. Apparently, he consumed large amounts of that. Pepsi Zero or whatever. So they're associated with that. Okay, so here's the solution. Okay, well, here's one of the solutions. So, drinking water. Okay, that's what you got to do. Okay. Yeah. And I'll talk more about
water, I
it,
didn't
so-
bring the Diet Coke.
Yeah. So water is very, very important to be able to lose weight. Okay. We have a little scan in our office, not a little scan. We have a scan that gives us a lot of measurements. But one of the measurements it does is it tells us how well our body's hydrated. And people will get on there and they'll stand on there and they'll be below normal hydration. And one of the things they'll do is one thing is they're not consuming water. Simple as that. They're just not consuming water. Or two, they are consuming water, but they're not getting it into the cellular level because of and that's another topic. But your body needs to be hydrated in order to lose weight. Okay, you can actually get 50% more energy just by drinking more water. Okay, so how much water do you need to drink? Yeah.
Oh, that was
Go ahead.
well. My question is: so we did a scan, those of us who are doing the challenge, and we know how much weight of our body weight was water weight. What should the percentage be?
50%. 55 for males, 50 for women. Yeah.
Does it hurt if you mix things into your water?
Yes, it does.
Crystal Light?
Yes, I love that one.
Especially if it's crystal. So a great alternative is right in that same section.
The meal.
There's little packets of lemon and lime flavoring, little packets of things. That's what.
How do you feel about the Mio drops and things like that?
The what drops?
Like they're
Mio.
Power
Mio.
liquid.
And I like they're instead of like yeah.
Food coloring.
No, it's vitamin
I
B.
don't know.
Here's what
I buy those like pitchers that have the place for fruit, and so I cut out like fruits or
Awesome.
mint and rosemary or whatever. And
Yep. Awesome.
so that's like a big help because it
Yeah.
tastes good and it's all that.
Like
Yeah.
lemon juice in
Yeah,
it or something?
absolutely.
Yeah, lemon lime.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Those are great.
Can I have aspartame?
Yeah. So, how much water should you be drinking? Take your body weight, divide it by 2, and that's how many ounces of water you should be drinking a day. So that's your baseline. Okay? So obviously if you weigh 200 pounds, divided by 2, that's 100 ounces of water that you should be drinking. Now if you're exercising, working out in the hot yard, sweating a lot, you want to build more, you want to drink more on top of that. But as far as the baseline, drinking that amount of water. Okay? They say for every cup of coffee or cup of soda pop that you drink, you gotta drink 3 more cups of water to help dilute all that toxic stuff. So it's better not to drink it, but to do it. Okay, so let's say you're drinking that much, but you did the scan and your body's still below hydration. The number one cause is because we're mineral deficient. Okay, so our body, we don't have the electrolytes and minerals that our body needs to actually get into the cellular level. Okay, so a very simple solution to do is to take real salt. Okay, this might seem contraindicated for some people, but real salt. Have you heard that there's a company called Real Salt? Okay, That's what I use. Himalayan salt's even better if you've heard of that, Himalayan salt. So real salt has 52 essential minerals in our body. Okay, so take a half, or that our body needs. So take a half a teaspoon of that every morning and every night. Will hydrate yourself better. It's better than Gatorade.
Okay. Take a half a teaspoon of salt.
Real salt. Not
How are
table
you-
salt. Not table salt.
Right.
Not iodine
Like-
salt, but real salt.
But like just a spoonful of salt, eat it? Like order.
What I do is I
drink water?
I take it on. I just dump it actually. I just dump it in my mouth and I drink it.
Really?
I just swallow like a pill.
I know, but it's so.
How about a capsule of that?
Well, there are salt pills out there, but they got to make sure that the right salt.
You just take the real salt, stick it in the capsule.
Yeah, sure. It has the right salt in it. I haven't found any. A lot of sports nutrition, there are a lot of salt pills, but it's not the healthy salt. So, and it doesn't have the minerals that your body needs to do that.
It's
Okay.
on the packet too.
So another challenge, do it, because a lot of times people you don't realize you're dehydrated because the last symptom of dehydration is feeling thirsty. So getting headaches, irritability, lack of energy are all signs of dehydration before you even feel thirsty. So, and then when you start consuming water, and you start getting hydrated, and you start feeling this energy, you forget how terrible you felt prior to. So as soon as you stop drinking that water, you start feeling all these things. So it's just, it'll testify to the importance of drinking water. So something so simple can make a dramatic change in your life, just by consuming more water. You know, minimizing the caffeinated drinks and consuming more water. Okay? Okay. See here. Battery go dead?
There's an on-off switch on the side that
Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, so exercise. When people think about weight loss, this is the first thing they think of, right? You say, is that a fair statement? Exercise. Oh, I just got to exercise. Okay. The truth is, yes, exercise is very, very, very important, and it needs to become part of our health. How are we doing time? I have no idea where we're at. Holy cow. Let me speed up, okay? Sorry, guys. So, exercising. But first and foremost, change diet, start drinking water. That's more effective than doing any more form of weight exercise program. Okay? You'll lose more weight by eliminating the sugar and starting to eat healthier than doing any form of exercise program. Okay? That's 90% nutrition, 10% exercise when it comes to getting healthy and losing weight. Okay? Exercising. Best tool I have for you right now is do the there's an app called the 7-minute workout. Has anybody heard of that? Okay? 7-minute workout. Okay? Download the app, it's free. Do that. That's more effective than running, most people that get on the treadmill, elliptical, and just do all this cardio work. That much cardio work actually suppresses our fat building hormones. Okay? Or fat burning hormones. So if you really want to get your body in the fat burning machine, do the 7-minute workout type workouts. High intensity interval type training. 20 minutes of doing interval training is more effective. You'll burn more fat than spending 60 minutes on the treadmill. Okay. So 7-minute workout. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna speed up here. Too much stress. Stress in our life. To sum this up, basically when our bodies experience a stressful moment or we're exposed to prolonged stress, there's a condition called adrenal fatigue. Has anybody heard of that? Okay. It's a very common condition that many people suffer from, which isn't addressed by a lot of doctors simply because they don't know much about it, and really because there's not a very specific drug to treat that symptom. So this really doesn't get addressed. But when our adrenals are fatigued, our bodies release so much cortisol. Basically, cortisol builds a lot of fat around our abdominal and vital organs. Okay, so one of the scans that I have in my office, I can actually get a number to see how much a rating about how much fat is around your vital organs, and you want to have that number low. But if that number is high, it's usually because you're experiencing some form of adrenal issue due to stress, either a stressful moment that really fatigued your adrenals, or because you're under prolonged stress. Okay. So once again, the solution is we got to take time to slow down. We got to make time for ourselves to cool down, to have power naps, to meditate. You just got to make time to let go. And try to surround yourself around with positive experiences as much as possible. One of the things I always say is don't watch the news. News tends to stress a lot of people out. So don't watch the news. Be informed, but don't watch the news.
Would it be helpful to take power naps at work?
Absolutely. 10-15 minute power nap, absolutely, can do wonders.
I vote for that.
Can do wonders. You can actually fall asleep, but if you do fall asleep, don't sleep more than 30 minutes. So, because as soon as you go past 30 minutes, your body gets into a deeper sleep, so it's harder to wake up. And then you actually feel more groggy throughout the day, and then it's harder to go to sleep when it's time to go to sleep. So just a 15-minute power nap is sufficient. Okay, kind of goes into poor sleeping habits. I gave you a little handout about some of the things that you can do to improve your sleep. Okay, there's a certain hormone called growth hormone. It's only released when we're sleeping between the hours of 10 and 2. Okay, so if you're not getting good deep quality sleep between the hours of 10 and 2, a growth hormone, which is a fat-burning hormone, it is not being released. Therefore, you're not getting your body's fat burning hormone. Who works the night shifts? Okay. It's hard. I've tried to find some solutions. I don't have any. It's just part of it.
Going on 2 years.
Poor functioning liver, poor digestion, and leaky gut. These are another things that affect our body's ability to lose weight. So basically, because our body's in a state of a lot of inflammation, basically our body's not breaking down and digesting food like we need to. The nutrients not being absorbed. So a lot of times we get patients that are eating really pretty good, but because of the inflammation that's in their body, because of the poor digestion that's occurring, because they have a leaky gut, essentially their body's not getting the nutrients that it needs. So the body continues to think it's in starvation mode, so it's holding on to fat and won't release the fat. So that's a whole nother talk about more things there, but those are some things that do it. So by cleaning up the way we eat, we can reduce a lot of the inflammation in our body and help our body detoxify. A lot of times we do need to there's a lot of different detoxes out there, but cleaning out, getting a good cleanse and start with that can help get your body to fat burning one. So I'm not going to cover any more of this stuff here. So do you guys have any particular questions? Is there anything else I could help you or address a particular concern or challenge or something?
When you talk about eating every 2 or 3 hours, how long does it take for your body to start burning, increasing your metabolism? Is it a week, 2 weeks? Does it depend on the body?
Yeah, it depends on the body. We see significant changes within 2 weeks. So one of the scan that we have in our office gives us a metabolic rate. So we can actually basically see how fast your metabolism works. So we see a reduction or increase in 2 weeks. So. Good. Any other questions or? So good. Well, I appreciate your time. I hope there was something there that you can take and start doing, and start creating the health and the life that you would like to do as far as pertains to health. Getting to an optimal health level and helping you get to a more ideal weight for you. I do have, so like I said, that information. If you want more information, I do offer a consultation. So if anybody wants to do, I'll do a free consultation where you can come down to my office. We can do a free scan on that thing, consultation with you, and see if there's anything that we can help you with if you want some assistance in doing that. When it comes to weight loss, there's basically a couple things. Education, accountability, and implementation. So that's what we're there for, to help our patients. Help them hold them accountable, help educate them on the things that they need to do, give them the tools and things that they need to start creating those change. Because ultimately, it's got to change the lifestyle. It's got to become part of you. If it doesn't become part of it, sure, you might lose some weight, but you'll gain it right back. And ultimately, it's got. And we live by the 80-20 rule, meaning if you can do this 80% of the time, you'll not only lose the weight, but you'll be able to maintain it. Okay. So try to live by those things. So once again, thanks for your time. I got some cards here. I'll hang around if anybody has any questions or want to do it.
Thank you.
Thank you.